Good evening all, Gary here. Just going to be a little quick update on the old 1968 Frog AMT Corvette. This is the old vintage kit that if you've watched my last couple of videos you'll see I did an unboxing video of it, and I've been doing a little bit. I haven't been doing as much as I'd like to, but I've been working and just not really had a lot of time to get on the bench and do some model stuff. It's been pretty bad weather for painting outside, in the last week, or well, not week, but a few days, raining, and I paint all my cars. Obviously the bodywork is painted with aerosol cans, so I've got to rely on the weather quite a bit. That being said, at the weekend, Sunday, I did manage to get the interior and the chassis painted. So let me show you what we got up to so far. So we've got the engine pretty much done. I'm going to wire it. I haven't wired it as yet. Let's get this camera into focus. There we go. So we've got a little bit of black wash on the gearbox or transmission. Just a little bit of detailing. I mean, so this is a 45-year-old kit. Is it 45? I was older than that. It's a 48-year-old, 49. Oh, whatever. 48-year-old kit. Sorry, brain's not working, guys. Sorry, it's like midnight. So yeah, we got this one done. I've got to put a bracket on the. It's going to lose focus again. I've got to put a bracket on the alternator because it's one of those wonderful floating alternators at the moment. But yeah, for an old kit as it is, I mean, it's quite a nicely detailed little engine. It's a small block Chevy. I'll take it's probably like a 350 or something like that, or 327. Not really sure. It is a small block anyway. As you can see, the axle doesn't go through the block on this one like it does on a lot of the earlier AMT annual kits. So yeah, that's the engine and transmission. The bumpers, unfortunately, I've had to de-chrome them. The chrome was just too bad. I was hoping I could use the original chrome, but it was just. I wasn't happy with it. It was looking really untidy. Probably, as you can imagine, 48-year-old chrome would. Be rattling around in a box all that time. So I've stripped it. I used like thick household bleach and stripped the chrome at the weekend. And I'm gonna have to go over. Sorry, that's the front bumper and grille, and then you got the rear bumperettes, which I've had to do a lot of filling work on. Still need a little bit extra doing some, but there's some really bad sink marks in them on the bottom and the top, so I had to get those filled in. And I use what did I use? Oops, there's Nelson's card gone down. Oh, never mind. I use this, which is Deluxe Materials plastic, perfect plastic putty. It's very, very good. It unfortunately, I know Tom Rambler69 put up a great video the other day about the Tamiya, or Tamiya as I call it, 2-part filler, and that sounds like a very good idea. I'm going to try and get some of that. This does shrink, not as much as say Squadron, the white and the green, but it does shrink a little bit, but it is very, very good, very easy sanding. You can wet it down. It behaves very much like the Vallejo filler, which I know a lot of you like to use. So use that. It cleaned up the bumpers, and I'm going to have to try and paint these with Alclad, or I've got some of that Spastic stuff as well for the airbrush. I've never done that yet. I did have a quick go at Alclad once, and it turned out crap for my liking, but I think it's just a case of trial and error and a bit of practice. So we've painted the body, and I've gone as close as I could get to a 68 Corvette colour, which was called British Green, not British Racing Green, British Green it was called, which is a metallic dark green. As you can see, it's got dust all over its side, guys. It's come up pretty nice. This is just a base coat. I do want to try and put another coat on it if I can. There's no lacquer or anything on this yet. It does need sorting out. It's just a base coat. But yeah, quite a nice colour. Got a bit of a paintwork error there, but there's a number plate that will sort that The bonnet on this one, unfortunately, you've got to glue the hinge in first, so it's all sort of, you know, it's not a very good design at all, but you can see it's all hinged there, and I should be painting all this flat black underneath here anyway. So yeah, there's the body painted, and we did the interior and the last night. So we've got a bit of detail work in there, if you can see. I don't know if it's going to focus. So we've got the carpeted back wall, this carpet on the floor, which is obviously like embossing powder. We've got the chrome details in there. I'll put some satin varnish on the seats to contrast the interior with the rest of it, to make it look like you know, shiny vinyl. So yeah, that came out quite nice. And the floor and chassis, obviously, you know, this is an annual kit again, so it's very basic. I know Wayne Osborne mentioned that this chassis looked very similar to the 63 Corvette annual kit, and he's right, it is exactly the same chassis. I don't think they changed them at all for all those years. We've got the Dayton wire wheels that come in the kit, and they're very nice wheels, you know, for an old kit. They're very well detailed, very sharp. So they look very nice. The floor pan, again, I haven't gone overboard. I've just done some contrast painting, because there's only something, I mean, this is all moulded in, don't forget, all this detail is moulded in. So we've just done a bit of contrast work, you know, just to make it look, there's a little bit more I want to do on the back end, so, you know, on the actual diff cover and whatnot, which I will do, but you know, that will suffice, that will do. It's it is what it is, these old kits. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. What I was going to quickly show on this video is, I mentioned in the last video a slight little history lesson here, that AMT, obviously a lot of people will know that AMT used to do promo models as well as the kits. These were models that were already put together that you could buy from the car dealerships or got given them when you bought a new car. AMT didn't have the Chevrolet promo contract for 1968. That fell to MPC, the rival company. Because of this, the 1968 Chevy kits in the annual lineup are not very accurate at all. The Camaro was not very accurate. The Impala was probably the worst of the lot, which could only be built custom. It had no rear window. It was a fastback design. It looked very much like a 67, but they didn't have the blueprints, the factory backing or blueprints to get an accurate looking model. So they had to do a bit of guesswork. You can build this, you know, obviously this Corvette, as you know, as you can see, you can build this stock and custom if you wanted to, and racing. But just to go, just to show you how far out the shape of this body is compared to a proper Corvette, I've got a Revell body over here, which I'll show you in a second. And just to mention that this is a 1968. In 1969, AMT got it spot on, and the body was right. So it's only this 1 year that it's a bit out of whack, and you'll see this straight away. I'll put this Corvette. This is the 90s issue, or maybe 80s issue now, I expect. Corvette body. Now, straight away, you know, I know they've got a bit of perspective here, distance perspective. You can see the different length tails. Let me see if I can bring this up a bit better for you. I'll give you an idea. These are both the same scale. These are both 1/25th, and you can see how sort of short and stumpy the AMT back end is to a proper Corvette. You know, the shape is pretty much there, but it is a lot shorter on the back. The Revell kit, the tail panel is all moulded in. On the AMT, you have to glue the rear panel in, and it's not such a nice a fit. It fits okay, but it's not brilliant. The hood is supposed to be, on a Corvette, it's supposed to taper in at the front of the car, and on this AMT it is completely flat all the way through from front to rear. There's various little differences, like I said, but the main one is the back end. They really did not get the back end right at all. You can see that. Really is quite a noticeable difference. That being said, I quite like it. I quite like the stunted tail on it. It's a bit different. It's going to look different on the shelf, and it's a unique model. It's an old kit, and they're better off being built than they are being stuck in a box forever on end. They were made to be built in the first place all those years ago, so why not build them? So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Keep it short and sweet. I hope you're all having a great week. Thanks for all your comments and your very kind comments on the last videos. And thank you for all the new subscriptions I've had. I've had a few more come on board, so hope you like the content. And please leave your comments and share the videos. And I'll be back very soon for another update. Oh, just a quick one as well, just to give you a quick... I've been painting some of these 176 lorry truck cabs as well. These are all hand painted, little resin cabs. So we've been doing some of these as well. So there's a Bedford, there's a Guy Invincible, and that is what we call an ERF. So yeah, okay guys, take it easy, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.